Okay, number 2 expresses why knowing your vertical angles theorem and linear pairs theorem is so important every single chapter, especially in this unit. We're going to find the measure of each numbered angle. Well, first of all, let's start off with the fact that we have a triangle that has a 90-degree angle. And if a triangle has a right angle, then what's left over between these two is 90 degrees. So 90 minus 40 gives me 50 degrees. Remember, that was the corollary to the triangle sum theorem. So I know that this angle here is 50 degrees. Okay, vertical angles. Here are my vertical angles. So angle 2 is vertical to the right angle. So angle 2 is also 90 degrees because vertical angles are congruent. So if this is 90 degrees, then triangle sum theorem says that all three of these angles are 180. And since one of them is already 90, these two acute angles are going to be 90 minus 30. So angle 3 is going to be 60 degrees. Well, now that we know angle 3 is 60, we have a vertical to that, angle 4. So angle 4 is also 60 degrees. This triangle sum theorem, all three of those angles are 180. Take away the 60 that's given here, take away another 60 that's given here, and you're left with 60 degrees. Vertical to the 60 is angle 6. Vertical angles once again are congruent, so angle 6 is 60 degrees. And finally, the triangle sum theorem, we have 60 and 20 degrees out of 180 possible, because this is a triangle. So I take away the 60, I take away the 20, and I'm left with 100 degrees. Okay, number 4, it says the variable expressions represent the angle measures of a triangle. We're going to find the value of the variable. So we don't have to plug the variable back in, but we will anyway to check our answer. So if these are the sum, or if these are the three angles of a triangle, ABC, and we know that the sum of the interior angles is 180 degrees. So the sum of x plus 30, x, and x plus 60, all equals 180 degrees. So now we got to really work on our algebra here. We got an x, an x, and an x. That's 3 x's. We have a 30 and a 60. That's 90. And all that still equals 180. Subtract 90 from both sides. So I have 3x equals 90. Divide by 3. And I get x equals 30. I know it didn't ask us to plug the x back in that we get, but that's the only way that I'm going to know if I did this problem right. So I'm going to take my variable that I found, 30. I'm going to plug it into each of these and make sure that they all come together and add up to 180. So 30 plus 30 is 60. 30 for this x. And 30 plus 60 is 90. So does 60 plus 30 plus 90 equal 180? Yes, it does. Okay, in order to do number 8, 9, and 10, you have to know the theorem. The exterior angle theorem says that the sum of the remote interior or the non-adjacent angles to the exterior, their sum equals the exterior angle. So 80 plus x is going to equal the exterior angle, 3x minus 22. Okay, so we have set up our equation to find x. After we find x, we want to find the measure of the exterior angle. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides of my equation. I get 80 equals 2x minus 22. I'm going to add 22 to both sides of my equation. So I get I get 102 equals 2x. I'm going to divide, let me bring this over here. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So I get x is 51. After I find x, I have to find the measure of the exterior angle. The exterior angle is one that's outside of the triangle. So I plug x back in. 3 times 51 minus 22. Put that in my calculator. I get 131 degrees. So on number 9 and 10, don't just find the x, plug it in to the exterior angle as well. Okay, we're going to match the triangle description with the most specific name. So naming a triangle by its side lengths. When you have 3, 3, and 2, well, sides of 3, 3, and 2, that's two congruent sides. Two sides of equal length. Well, that must be an isosceles triangle. E. Number 16, when you have angle measures of 20, 145, and 15, well, obtuse, equal angular, and right are the only ones that allow us to name a triangle by its angles. And if you notice, we have one angle here, 145, that's greater than 90. So that means it's obtuse. If a triangle has an angle greater than 90, it's obtuse. All right, number 18 says to classify the triangle by its angles and sides. So you should have two answers for each of these. Number 18, by its angle, we can see that it has one right angle. So by its angles, it's a right triangle. By its sides, well, look, ED is marked congruent to DF. So a triangle with two congruent sides is called an isosceles triangle. So this is a right isosceles triangle. Number 22, we have a right angle again. So naming this triangle by its angles, it makes it a right triangle. Then, if you notice, none of the sides are marked congruent to each other. So a triangle with no sides congruent is a scaling triangle. Number 24, anytime you're given all three angles of a triangle and you're asked to find x or any of those angles, we have to use the triangle sum theorem that says the sum of all three angles, so the sum x plus 3x plus 2x, the sum of all three angles is 180 degrees. Combine my like terms, x, 3x, and 2x, that's 3 and 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6, so 6x equals 180. Divide by 6, and I'm going to get x is 30. I'm going to plug my x back in even though it didn't tell me to, but I'm going to plug it back in because I need to make sure I did it right. So 30 is my x here. 3 times x is 3 times 30, which is 90. And 2 times x is 2 times 30, which is 60. So 60 plus 30 is 90, plus 90 is 180. So I did it right. Okay, number 26. These are sides of a triangle. They are not angles. The biggest mistake I will see you make is setting all of these sides equal to 180. Yes, they give you 3 sides, but you're not going to do anything with all 3 sides. And you're definitely not going to set them equal to 180 because angles equal 180 degrees, not sides. Well, the theorem behind this is that all 3 of those sides are congruent. And when we're solving an algebraic equation, the equation for this is that if all 3 sides are congruent, that means that 4x minus 9 equals 3x minus 3, which equals 2x minus 3, or 2x plus 3. So there are 3 possible equations, or 3 possible sides that we can set up into an equation. But have you ever seen an equation with 2 sets of equal signs? Never. It doesn't work. So you just have to pick any 2 of those. You can use 4x minus 9 equals 3x minus 3, or you can use 3x minus 3 equals 2x plus 3, or you can use 4x minus 9 equals 2x plus 3. You can decide which 2 you want to use to set equal to each other. I'm going to do it both 2 different ways so you can see that it's going to work the same way no matter what. I'm going to set 4x minus 9 equal to 2x plus 3. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides of my equation. I get 4x equals 2x plus 3. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides of my equation. So I get 2x equals 9 plus 3 is 12, sorry. So 2x equals 12. Divide by 2, I get x equals 6. All right, I'm going to pick another set of 2 sides. 3x minus 3 equals 2x plus 3. 3x minus 3 equals 2x plus 3. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So I get 3x equals 2x plus 3. Subtract 2x. I get x equals 3. That's what I got down here. Oh, wait. Sorry. 3 plus 3 is 6. So I'm going to divide by 2. And I get x is 6. Alright, so to check my work, I'm going to plug that 6 back into each one of those sides, and they should all equal each other, because this said they all equaled each other. So 3 times 6 is 18 minus 3, which is 15. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 3. Sorry, 2 times 6 plus 3 is 12 plus 3, which is 15. 4 times 6 is 24 minus 9 is 15. So plugging that x back in, I saw that they all equaled 15, not 180 degrees. Never set 3 sides equal to 180 degrees. If they're marked congruent, you pick any 2 to set equal to each other. Alright, you're going to see a lot of problems where they give you information that you're not actually going to use. So number 28, the only thing we know about this triangle is that it is an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle is 2 congruent sides. So AB is congruent to AC. They marked them congruent. That's how we know they're congruent. We don't know anything about this 300. They just gave us that side. The reason they gave it to us is to see if we knew what to do. What we do is put this statement into algebra. If AB is congruent to AC, then AB is equal to AC. And they gave us AB is 18x minus 20, and that equals AC, which is 14x plus 40. So I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to add 20 to both sides. So I get 18x equals 14x plus 60. Subtract 14x from both sides. I get 4x equals 60. Divide by 4. I get x is 15. Alright, I'm going to come back up here. X was 15. I'm going to plug it into my original equations, or original sides. 18 times 15 minus 20. Put it in your calculator. You get 250. 14 times 15 plus 40. Put it in your calculator. You get 250. So I did this correctly because they were marked congruent, and 250 is the same as 250.